You've got questions, we've got answers. We have the man to answer them. Jeffrey Levine from Buckingham Wealth Partners. Jeffrey, welcome back to another episode of Ask the Hammer.
It's good to be with you, Bob.
Good to have you here because I recently read an article that you wrote in which you describe a little known Social Security tactic in which beneficiaries can make reversible decisions for 6 months at a time between FRA and age 70. Can you walk us through it?
So really good question, Bob, and thanks for bringing that up. When people think about Social Security, you can generally start as early as 62, but that'll be a reduced benefit. Now, at some point, depending upon your age, you hit full retirement age between 66 and 67, and that's where you're entitled to an unreduced benefit. But that's not the biggest benefit you can get. The biggest benefit, in fact, is by waiting until age 70, because for each month you delay after your full retirement age, you receive 1/8 of 12%, right? Or excuse me, 8/12 of 1%, I should say, 8/12 of 1% for each month you wait, or in other words, 8% per year. And so that is a significant incentive to avoid delaying receiving your benefit at full retirement age. But obviously, it comes at a trade-off. The trade-off is the longer you wait, the fewer months of benefits you will receive, because there'll be fewer months between the time when you start and when you die. It's just a natural trade-off there. So when we're thinking about what should I do, that's honestly a concern for a lot of folks, is what happens if I regret my decision, right? If I don't take it now, what if I later regret it and I feel like I should have claimed sooner? And while there's not an unlimited ability to undo a decision, the Social Security rules provide for a 6-month window of time in which you can effectively undo your decision to delay after you've hit full retirement age. More specifically, once you hit full retirement age, you can file what's known as a retroactive application for up to 6 months. And that will, in effect, treat you as though you had filed 6 months sooner. So if we use an example here, a simple example, let's say your full retirement age was 67 and you're 68 and you wish you had have filed sooner for whatever reason. You can now go back, retroactively file the application, and you can start Social Security as if you took it at 67 and 6 months. Right? Even though you didn't start until 68, you can start as if you took it at 67 and 6 months. So of course, what is the effect of that? Well, two things. First off, if you start at 67 and 6 months as opposed to 68, it's 6 months less of those deferred credits. That's your downside. Your upside, though, is that you will get a lump sum check for those 6 months of benefits that you had previously foregone, because Social Security will treat it as though they should have paid you. So you get a nice check, a sizable check for some folks, of 6 months worth of benefits. And then on top of that, you will continue to receive monthly benefits for the rest of your life at the level as if you had claimed at 67 and a half to begin with.
So how often can someone file and suspend and then file a retroactive claim? Could they do it every 6 months throughout between FRA and 70?
Yeah, so it's a good question. And ultimately, we're not really suspending our benefits here, right? What we're really doing is we're either not claiming yet or we're claiming a retroactive application. So the way I think of this is very much in 6-month bite-sized pieces, right? Because that's as long as you can file a retroactive application for. And to some degree, it's not even like if you think you're 67 and you want to file now, as long as you're not in imminent death, right? If that's not, because that's the one time you can't file a retroactive application. If you die, can't be done for you. But if this is not, if this is more of a, boy, I think maybe I might want to file, I'm kind of the opinion that, wait 6 months, sleep on it, right? Take a good nap, sleep on it for 6 months. And then if you still really feel that way in 6 months that you wanted to have filed 6 months earlier, you can always file the retroactive application. But it's a lot easier to do that and file the retroactive application than it is to be 67 and then all of a sudden file for benefits. And at 67 and a half, you're like, man, I didn't really need this. I probably rushed. Now you can pay back Social Security and start over, but it's a lot more of a pain in the neck than it is to just simply wait and then claim. So I like to look at this in 6-month bites, and it helps to think of it like that, right? Because 3 or 4 years between the time you reach full retirement age and 70 can seem like a long time for people. If you're taking it in 6-month intervals, it gives you a better sense of, you have greater visibility over the next 6 months of your life, especially in today's, climate where things are just really, really different, right, than we've ever had before. There's more unknowns today than there has ever been. So visibility to 6 months is something that people can kind of see. 3 and 4 years sometimes can become a challenge. And so if we think about it only as a 6-month choice to delay, where we make another choice in 6 months, do I keep going and wait another 6 months, or do I start now? I think it can help people reframe that decision and encourage more people to delay. And while not everyone should delay until 70, one thing I could say with certainty is more people should than do right now.
Yeah. So just one follow-up, assuming someone's at FRA plus 6 months or FRA plus 12 months and they decide they want to do this, they have to be very specific with Social Security. They can't just file and claim their benefits. They need to file a different kind of application.
Yeah, effectively, you're filing and requesting your benefits to begin at a period not more than 6 months before. That's so and Social Security is well versed in this process. It's one of the, there are a lot of things that I would be uncomfortable, or I like to double check. Usually they're pretty good on this, but you should know effectively you're looking for two things, right? You're looking for monthly checks that start as if you had started 6 months earlier, and you're looking for one big giant check for 6 months worth of benefits. If both of those things happen, it was done right.
No, thanks for walking us through that, and I'm sure that's going to help a good many people, Jeffrey.
Well, we hope so. We want to help as many people as possible. And if you've got a question about Social Security or anything else, let us know. Give us a shout. Email us here at askthehammer@buckinghamgroup.com. Again, give us a shout. Email us here at askthehammer@buckinghamgroup.com. Thanks so much.